New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has unveiled new details of her much-talked-about Green New Deal. It's in a letter to her colleagues. The freshman Democrat also asking for support for a resolution which outlines a plan to eliminate carbon emissions in the United States in a decade. The letter reads, quote, "We call for a national social, industrial, and economic mobilization at a scale not seen since World War II," end quote. Christopher Clack, a physicist and founder of a clean energy consultancy firm, estimates the core of the plan could cost at least $2 trillion. He says, quote, "It's a daunting task, and I'm not sure that the authors of the Green New Deal fully comprehend how much they'll be needed. Or how much they'll need. Even sympathetic experts are casting doubts. Paul Bledsoe, a strategic advisor at the Progressive Policy Institute, writes, "I understand the value of aspirational goals. My personal view is that undermines the credibility of the effort," end quote. What do you think?
I think this is absolutely ridiculous and over the top. She's spending money in her world by trillions of dollars. The problem is that she really is the leader of the Democratic Party at this moment. When she says something, everybody tends to follow it. Every presidential candidate is, "Are you on board?" "Yes, I'm on board." They don't even know the details of the plan. And let me give you a sense of how big this is. If you spent $1 million a day every day, it would take you almost 3,000 years to get to $1 trillion. So you want to go out and spend between $2 and $7 trillion converting. And I always love, by the way, when the Democrats say, well, we got to do everything with electricity. Well, guess how we get electricity in this country? Guess what? It comes from fossil fuels. That's how primarily we
So, Kennedy,
generate.
what do you say to the people who push back on what the congressman is saying about the situation with how much money we spend? We have not gotten any smaller with Republicans in control bicameral in the White House, any of it in terms of how big the government is. So we spend a lot of money anyway.
We do spend a lot of money, and I put some of this on Paul Ryan, who said that he was going to cut entitlements and didn't do it. And you have to have some sort of entitlement reform in order to keep the government going as is, and that's without adding new ones. And the way they're talking about this and the way they're talking about addressing historical oppression through the Green New Deal, it is essentially an entitlement. Now, I actually share with the Congresswoman the desire to be off fossil fuels. And I share the desire to no longer prop up regimes like we have in Venezuela and Saudi Arabia. I would love for the United States to no longer be oil dependent. I don't think it's the government's job to spend trillions of dollars that we don't have when the check for the 21 trillion hasn't even shown up yet. And that's going to gobble up most of the general budget. And you can rely on the incredible innovation and private industry in this country, which will solve those problems without government force.
Real quickly, the Sierra Club, Tom Steyer's Next Gen America, as well as veteran Democrat Representative Earl Blumenauer of Oregon, all among the first backers of Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal. However, and you pointed this out, all the groups in the memo listed as endorsers, quote, are pending final resolution language. You're right. They don't know exactly what's in it at this point.
But they're all endorsing.
I always love how, sort of confused and misinformed she is on the facts. And when you come down to this quote, I loved when she said that this is going to generate millions of good, high-wage jobs. No. Actually, factually, it's going to do exactly the opposite. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we need 100,000 new IT workers every year right now for all of the technology that we have going on in our economy. We are only producing 40,000 of them. So we are creating all these jobs right now that are open. She wants to create even more. We don't have the training for it. At the same time, according to McKinsey, we're automating a lot of this other technology on the other side of the spectrum. The closer we get to the green energy, it creates more automation and it creates more jobs that we don't have people for. So her plan will hasten this skills gap and put people out of work at a dramatic pace, according to our own government.
Yeah, this is. I'm glad Tom Steyer is on board. Maybe we can confiscate all of his billions of dollars and still not pay for the $2 trillion. The truth is that big programs like this are done through force. They're not done voluntarily, especially if you're going to do it over the next 10 years. and it's going to be the middle class that's paying for it. It's not going to be the rich with the tippy tops they like to pay for. It's going to be you and me. Everyday Americans are going to have to be paying for this. And guess what? The fossil fuel industry does get subsidies, but they can survive on their own if you took them away. The green energy field cannot survive and will implode without the government propping it up. And by the government continuing to prop it up, it doesn't encourage innovation for new technology because they have a crutch of the American taxpayer.
Woo! All right. I think we got it.
Well said.
We're going to move
No to the Green Deal.